Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Tuesday, October 5th, 2021. We don't have any significant fire potential impacts this week, as we're expecting a pretty significant change to the weather pattern with cooler temperatures and some widespread precipitation as a series of low pressure systems move into the Great Basin over the next starting today, tomorrow, through the next 7 to 10 days or so. We are kind of winding down our operations for the fire season, and this week will be our last week producing this product. Starting next week, we'll switch to the off-season dispersion briefings. Okay, so smoke for this afternoon and tomorrow. We still have some smoke coming from those fires in Southern California, moving up through western Nevada and into western Idaho for today and into tomorrow as well. The past 24 hours of precip and lightning are shown here. We're starting to see some precipitation move into the far southern part of the Great Basin. Yesterday was fairly light activity, but we will see this increase today and through the next couple of days. Initial attack continues to be light. We still have seen a few fires over the central Idaho mountains and northern Utah, higher elevation fires here. But we will definitely see this decreasing with the change in weather this week. Observed precip for the past 14 days is shown here. It's been a dry couple of weeks, which has really allowed those initial attack fires to continue to pop up even in the higher elevations. Again, some precip over far western Idaho and then in eastern Utah, but this will begin to change this week. ERCs have been high for the time of year over Idaho and Nevada, but lower in Utah where we've seen some recent precipitation. So fairly high fire danger values today, but again, that will start to change beginning today, but more earnestly tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. Again, a closer look at those ERCs showing the east central Idaho mountains here right at historical maximums for the time of year. Still been pretty high through the month of September and into the 1st of October, as we haven't seen much precipitation in that area. And then the northern Utah mountains, same story. Those values have been pretty steady over the last month or so, but still below those records that we set last year and right around average for the time of year. This morning's satellite imagery is showing two low pressure systems that are going to impact the Great Basin. The first one is this low over Southern California that's already sending moisture up into mainly Utah and southern Nevada. And then this other low pressure system that's hanging out off the Pacific Northwest coast. This is going to be moving in a little bit later, bringing cooler temperatures and more widespread precipitation across the Great Basin. It's really these two low pressure systems that are going to enhance the possibility for more widespread precipitation over Utah. So for today, we can see that moisture across the south really being drawn up into Utah and southern and eastern Nevada, increasing the chances for precipitation today, especially across central and southern Utah. And that low moving into the Pacific Northwest. No high risk for today, of course, with cooler and wetter conditions moving in. We will see some breezy winds out there ahead of these low pressure systems, especially over western Nevada and northern Utah, but the relative humidities are higher, and so we don't have any high risk. Not overly concerned about the wind, but it is there. Precip for today is going to be focused over Utah, some precip chances over southern Nevada, and then up into southeast Idaho as well by later in the day. On Wednesday, that low moves into the Pacific Northwest and brings that moisture, swings that cold front and moisture band into western Idaho and northern Nevada, and pushes through Utah as well. So tomorrow we'll see a more major cool down with better precipitation chances, no high risk. Wind speeds pick up over Idaho and across much of Nevada ahead of that cold front. And we can see the focus for precipitation on Wednesday is going to be along that front as it interacts with some of that southerly moisture from Utah. So the best chance for precip over eastern Idaho, western Wyoming, central and northeast Nevada, northern Utah. The central Idaho mountains won't see a whole lot of precipitation with this one, nor will northwest Nevada, but a pretty good band across the central part of the Great Basin. On Thursday, that low remains in place and deepens along the west coast, keeping the moisture in place over portions of the Great Basin. Fire danger remains low. Wind speeds will be strongest on Thursday over southern Nevada and across southwest Utah as that low drops further south. And we expect to see precipitation continuing on Thursday with the better chances here for Thursday afternoon over eastern Idaho, northeast Nevada, and central and eastern Utah. So similar areas on Thursday as on Wednesday as that low remains in the general position. Still kind of missing out on precip over this western Idaho and northwest Nevada. 3-day precipitation totals are shown here. Again, looking for high precipitation amounts over eastern Idaho, northeast Nevada, and portions of Utah, but still dry over the western areas. On Friday, that low kind of centers itself over the Great Basin, keeping temperatures cool and keeping the chance for precipitation still in place over the northern half of the Great Basin. Cooler temperatures, again, area-wide with low fire danger. On Saturday, by Saturday evening, that low will move off to the east, clearing precipitation across the area, but we could see precip still lingering, especially over the eastern half of the area Saturday morning. Sunday, another trough moves into the Pacific Northwest, bringing cooler temperatures up there, but it is a drier pattern for Utah and Nevada on Sunday. And then on Monday, that low continues to move through the Great Basin for another pretty significant drop in temperatures as we move into the first part of next week. Highs will be down into the 50s during that period early next week. 7-day precip totals are shown here. We are expecting more precipitation after the first 3 days, especially to western Wyoming, the mountains of northern Utah, northeast Nevada. With that next low moving in on Monday, we could see some higher precipitation amounts and certainly some higher elevation snow, as this will be a cold storm. So we are calling this week a season ender, if you want to call it that, with a series of troughs bringing precipitation starting today into tomorrow and then continuing through the next 7 to 10 days. So cooler temperatures, widespread precipitation. We're going to call it a season. The extended outlook for October 12th through the 18th still keeps cooler temperatures in place across the west, above normal precip over most of the Great Basin as well. So this isn't just a one-time event, but we'll see this pattern continuing for the next couple of weeks. And this concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.